And welcome back, D2L Season 5 Grand Finals time, and one team is one game away from bringing home the hardware, bringing home that big old oversized check that I'm pretty sure you can't actually cash. I think we give them a smaller one, you know, just for portability and all that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you what, if there's any team who has earned the big version, it would be LV. LV has looked so good throughout this entire tournament. They really haven't stumbled much. We saw VP take a game off them in the earlier series, but now leading off with arguably, in my opinion at least, the most dominant performance we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think so too. And they looked so dang strong with specifically the Lycan. They've shown that they have other tools in their arsenal to just look just as strong. Last game it was the Terrorblade. There was a couple of shaky moments in that, but really it was domination from start to finish.
Well, we're going to find out if Polar's got any fight left in them or if it's going to be LV sweep as we move in now to Game 2. LV up 2-0 in this best of 5. Let's see what the teams have in store. Polar showing us a very early pick, Magnus. Medusa is going to be the hero for Illidan this time around with the Shadow Demon to go with it. LV instead getting a Tidehunter out the gate very quickly, along with yet another Ancient Apparition pick, Invoker in third position.
Wow, they didn't ban. There's no Lycan ban yet, and LV Gaming hasn't snatched him up yet. I'm very curious about that. They played it so damn well, and I was thinking this is going to be their perfect strategy if they just do this every time. If it's not banned, it still isn't even banned in the secondary phase, so there still is room for them to do that if they want to. They can still do the same strategy with him going into the jungle very early on, like minute 3, minute 4. Ancient Apparition soaks up some farm, or it could be like the same thing that they did before with the Wraith King. Like, that would be a proper pairing, Wraith King, Ancient Apparition with the Lycan. Just have to see if they want to do that yet again. I'm just saying it because it worked so damn well against Evil Geniuses.
I completely agree with you, and I'm shocked as well that we haven't seen that happen. And this is a perfect lineup to do that with for LV. I mean, you know, the idea of putting him into a lane, being able to send him into the jungle and prioritize getting levels on heroes like Ancient Apparition, getting a little, and Earthshaker, another perfect hero that fits into that. Ogre Magi, the 4th pickup in response to that Earthshaker, and Ogre Magi, we've seen a little bit of play here at D2L, but we haven't seen him nearly as much as honestly I would have expected, given how much teams have preferred heroes like Lycan, like Anti-Mage, like that do work really well with the Bloodlust buff. And yes, Ogre got a little bit of a nerf, but was it really that much to justify him dropping from tier 1 all the way down to just being an afterthought?
It's hard to say. I mean, it was a significant buff. The extra range on the stun was necessary, I think. I think it was honestly a little bit too much, but I mean, the hero is still very strong, so maybe it's not. And no, I still think he's very strong. He's a very tanky support that does a lot of damage. And the big thing that really wasn't changed was the amount of damage with the Ag Scepter, and you can constantly use that because it's a percentage-based stun with the called the Refined Fire Blast, I think, or Refined Fire Bolt.
Yep, no, it's Refined Fire Blast.
Yeah, and so it's a very strong item for him to pick up at any stage of the game, obviously. But yeah, the range did hurt him a little bit, but he's still, the main thing is he's a tanky support that does a lot of damage and doesn't die easily.
Yep. And really good at contesting those runes.
Yeah.
As we see it, like, he's just excellent at running into other folks. He's going to be working with the Shadow Demon this time, so a couple of good setup heroes there. Magnus, obviously, quite a big pickup. Synergize as well. Much like the Ogre Magi, with one big core, they're going to be able to hit the Bloodlust and the Empower onto that Medusa. That is going to be one very, very buffed up Snake Lady. And I'll be shocked if Polar doesn't ban the Lycan here with this last ban. I mean, they're looking for a core, assuming they're not going to do something completely wonky. Hell, they're going to get rid of the Ember Spirit. Let's see if LV wants to go that direction. I think it would behoove them hugely to go with a Lycan pick.
I mean, it certainly could work. The only thing I see is if Lycan does go into the jungle, that Earthshaker supporting the Ancient Apparition might not be the strongest that we've seen before. Whereas before it was like a ranged hero, like Skywrath supporting. Yeah, it's going to be the Morphling. Skywrath supporting like a Wraith King. So Morphling here for LV Gaming to round it all out. And that, you know what, if this Medusa gets super big, you can also, you know, make a replicate of herself and just have that to be a force to be reckoned with. But also, this is probably going to be a Quaswex Invoker. And you know what, I'm wondering if Inflame takes it yet again and we see Mushi on support once more.
That would be fun to see. And the Morphling pickup, I'm a little on and off on. They are looking for an off-laner. You know what could work here? The hero we haven't seen, Elder Titan. Elder Titan actually just crushes a Morphling for the most part, and they are looking for an offlaner. If they wanted to send him out there, it would certainly work well. They have 2 excellent setups for the Echo Stomp, the Shadow Demon, and the Ogre Magi, so he's going to be of even more utility from there. And his natural synergy with Magnus is kind of ridiculous. If you're able to time it up right, Magnus gets an RP. It's a guaranteed 2, 3, 4. However many you happen to catch with the reverse polarity, they're going to be caught with the Earth Splitter as well. It can be absolutely devastating. The only worry I would have is punching power. Will they have enough in the mid-game? Because we're going to see LV with a lot of initiation potential. No matter how they build the Invoker, he's going to give you a lot in some regard. Earthshaker and Tidehunter, once they get Blinks, excellent there as well. AoE is just the name of the game, especially, again, with those 2 heroes plus the Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, I think it would have been good, like, instead of the Ogre Magi, just because they are on Radiant, which means the offlaner, whoever it might be, is just going to have a much more difficult time just because of the creep equilibrium at the start. And that always favors the team that also has the Earthshaker, too, because if they're too far up, it's a very easy block and it's a very easy kill. So it could work on paper. Obviously, it's very, very good against the Morphling.
10 seconds
but just
remaining.
because they already have those 2 supports in Ogre Magi and Shadow Demon, and he'd be on the Radiant
5
offlane, it would
seconds
be a little bit
remaining.
difficult. We'll have to wait and see. But you made a good point.
Oh! Win, lose, or draw. It's going to be a fun one, my friend. And Mag's going to be running the off-lane Magnus appropriately. And it's going to be a mid-pudge.
Nice. The good old classic mid-pudge. And he's going to be going up against the Invoker, being played by Inflame. So that is going to be, that's going to be a support for Mushi. He's going to be playing the support Earthshaker.
And looking forward to this. We saw LV do this earlier in this tournament. They decided that Inflame, they just like his Invoker better, and maybe it's just, do you think it's that they like his Invoker better in particular, or do you think maybe they just see themselves getting more out of Inflame's ability to transition with Mushi making plays in the support position?
I think it's both, really. I just think that Inflame is more confident on the hero than
10
Mushi.
seconds
And
remaining.
it's more of utilizing your hero that plays best on that, or sorry, utilizing your player that plays best on that hero. And Inflame is a very, very good Invoker. And it could also be simply that maybe Inflame is very good at Quas Wex, whereas Mushi is better at Exort. But this game, if you're looking at it against a Medusa, I would take Quas Wex any day just because of the ability to, mana burn him with the EMP.
Oh, exactly. And I want to see how the lanes are going to end up working out. Taking a look at the Pudge, we can see it is being played by FNG, so this is without a doubt a support Pudge coming out, and the lane's taking shape. We'll run through who's handling who. Are they going to smoke and do something cheeky here, or are they just going as 4? Yeah, no smoke on anyone. They went ahead and set Illidan down the bottom.
All right, well, they're going to 4-man at least prevent this bounty rune from being taken by LV. And it looks like DK Phobos playing a core Ogre Magi. He's got the Stout Shield. Are they going to just go aggressive tri-lane top with the Mag mid? It looks like it. With Illidan just soloing bottom.
30 seconds
So
to bottom.
talk about a fun lane here.
Yeah, well, he's going to be up against Ohio. Ohio will be on the Tidehunter, going to be Mushi, who is once again not in mid. That role goes to Inflame. Mushi will be on the Earthshaker. On up at top, it's going to be DDC back on the Ancient Apparition, and ZYF playing on our Morphling. On the other side, the fun lineup, FNG playing on our Pudge, DK Phobos on the Ogre Magi, and we're going to see him chase the Morphling away in a hurry. They may not be able to get him away. Is he going to skill Skewer? Nope. Thought he might try to be cute and catch him in the middle of the waveform, but before the waveform, but not going to be the case. They will go ahead.
Hook miss. The first hook miss. That's a kill from 2 heroes.
Yeah.
Earthshaker and Tide.
How did that even happen? I was watching top.
That is not a combo you would normally think of being so devastating at level 1, but it must have just been, he got the Gush first, so extra armor reduced, which is only 2, but he must have just got a nice block with auto attacks, and there's boots up on the Earthshaker, very nicely played by LV.
I was watching how top was going to develop. I mean, whenever you have a Pudge in pursuit, you have no idea what's ever going to happen. But yeah, very well done indeed. And this is going to be straight up aggressive, and this is going to be the man we're watching. FNG going to have to come up big for his team, as they are once again only 1 game away from being swept right out of this series and into the casino.
You know, this is such a, I'm sorry, but this is such a weird and kind of bad tri-lane because SD does not synergize well with the Pudge as far as hooking, because there's a very good chance that the illusions are closer to you, and when you try to combo up the hook with the disruption, you're just going to end up with, getting an illusion. You're not actually going to get the hero. So it's actually not the best combo in the world. The hook does connect, though.
Got him that time. Very nice 3-man fissure, and they're going to try to turn this around using the chilling touch. There's a disruption. Mushi, or excuse me, ZYF trying to make his way up. FNG's very low, and he's trying to hide. No place to hide, big guy. Your booty's sticking out. Lands another hook before he dies. But they're going to try to follow this up. DDC will end up taking the spill that time. But I nonetheless think that still favors LV. Not if they manage to bring down the Morphling. Don't think they have the goods to grab him. Did get the Soul Catcher onto him, and Demon getting a little too close. Almost got in the tower range there. And we're going to see Mushi begin to work his way back over soon. He needs a Soul Ring, and he needs it today. That
Satyr was pretty much the MVP for VP Polar with multiple shots of that nuke onto 2 different heroes. So disruption, I hear it somewhere.
It's Mushi disrupted by Demon. Demon trying to body block him and doing a good job. That's going to force him up to the high ground and around. Ooh, almost bought him enough time, and Mag even skewered up to try to make something happen.
Jeez.
So they are, if nothing else, I think Polar knows they have a lineup with a very, very strict expiration date, and they are not intending to leave it on the shelf any longer than they have to.
Well, to be fair, though, you said it yourself. They got the Bloodlust. They got the Empower to really buff up that late-game powerhouse, which is the Medusa. So they still have a lot to offer in the late game.
They have a lot to offer, but they have to make sure that they don't just give up too much. I mean, we saw it's the style that VP plays is when they lose, very often it's because they've given up too much elsewhere on the map, and Illidan almost always gets his farm. Like, it's almost impossible to shut him down. He's just so good at that particular set of mechanics. But if you can accomplish enough across the map elsewise, you can get the rest of your heroes alive. You know, he never really gets into one versus 5 position, and that's going to be the goal against this Medusa for LV, I do believe.
Yep, and this is a pretty decent matchup for Illidan. We've seen this before. That last time we saw it, I believe it was against Universe. And Universe was actually doing quite well in that lane. We'll see how Ohio can fare. He's up to 12 CS against the 18.
Hook. Managed to grab CYF. Demon's right there. Got the Soul Catcher off. Disruption's there if he wants it. Unable to catch him, though. And this is a problem about trying to do this to the Morphling. He is so elusive.
Yep, and with the recent change to the meat hook, it is now 1,000 range, when before I think it was like 700 or 600.
Yeah, level 1 was really short.
Yeah, it was a significant buff to the early hooks.
Look at that.
What's that? Oh, yeah. It's a significant buff for sure. And that is ZYF, who just picked up a bottle now in his side lane, so he's pretty much up to full HP now. Morphed added a little to strength and kept it there just in case. So he's sitting at 750 HP.
Looked like Mushi wanted to take a run at Illidan. He rotated over. There's going to be a haste rune up. Mag's illusion actually blocked by the fissure. And, yeah, who did he get it?
No, it was actually killed by Inflame.
Oh, very nice. Very well played.
Which kind of sucks because it was just an illusion, but don't want that haste illusion running around.
I didn't think the illusion got there.
No, it was, I was walking down there.
I know I was watching. I just didn't think it was there in time to kill it. But anyway, 4-minute rune denied out of bottom. And FNG and Demon both sitting at level 2. Need to find something. Just so hard when it's the Morphling up front. He's such an unreliable person to try to kill.
Well, Inflame's having a much better time this time around on the Invoker. Last time, if you remember, I think it was up against DK Phobos on the Pudge, or sorry, on the...
Illidan engaged at bottom. Mana, shield, does have 1 point into it.
Comes a TP from SD.
And that fissure is about to go away. They're going to catch him from behind. And there's Demon trying to use the disruption to save him. Don't know that it's going to make all that much of a difference. And the hook is there. Tried to save him. However, Tide getting the last little bit of damage he needed. So bringing down Illidan yet again, 3-1 LV's lead.
And they rotated 2 heroes down there and still were unable to save him.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal. But yeah, no, it was the Brewmaster that he was up against that just got decimated in mid. Much better time around this time. 25 CS compared to the 20 from Mag's Mag.
We'll see how they want to handle these lanes from here on out. We're going to have a smoke from LV, and they want to keep the pressure up. They are not backing off, and they're going to look for something down in the jungle. Now, keep in mind, the Invoker is building Quas Wex, so will not be any XOR, but hell, they're going to bend towards mid, and they can use, this makes the most sense, as they're going to have the Tornado EMP to help them if needed. Mag's going to pre-rune 6. Let's see. Yeah, they're hoping he's going to bend south, and he doesn't. Mushi shows his face, as does DDC. And we're going to see ZYF get himself a bounty rune. There's an invis up for grabs down in the bottom spot.
You have nice defensive plays there from Mushi. DDC wanted to walk back towards mid. He felt a little bit scared of Mag trying to skewer him back, but he saw the animation of Mushi constantly canceling that. And yep, there's that invis for Demon. He's level 3. He's gone for a hybrid, a 1-1-1 build so far. We'll see if he can find someone. There was a sentry that was just laid down in mid, so yeah, Inflame will see this. He backs up. He actually misses the tornado as Demon just doesn't even flinch. Just walks just straight away. That's
and look,
funny.
it's pinged. Pinged out immediately. It's like, yep, that's where he is. And look at this. The Morphling in some trouble. Being pursued by FNG and DK Phobos. Demon's there. Has a disruption.
He should be dead.
And they got him. Cleaned up. Good kill for VP there. They get on the board in a more meaningful way this time. 2-2-3. Taking a look at the last hits, we can see Illidan is atop the board. Net worth-wise, however, he is not. He's actually in 4th position. It's the Invoker and Mag who are near the top, but right now everyone's pretty close.
Yep, and I can only imagine that was a hook that brought Morphling down to an awkward position in the first place. He was missing some mana on Pudge, so didn't see it, but one can infer that that was a nice Pudge hook from FNG.
Looks like he wants another. As he and Demon are showing themselves. Oh, thought about it. Got him. Hooked up. And very quick on the reaction. There's a disruption, though, and Mag doesn't have the mana. Can't skewer him. He was setting up for a skewer, and that Tornado EMP showing its power there. Look at the damage Demon's taking from nothing but Cold Snap.
Lord.
Got him. Didn't miss a single attack uphill. He didn't miss a single attack uphill, and what looked to be a sure thing gank, thanks to Inflame's unbelievable reactions, becomes a double kill right in VP's face. Ouch.
You know, that reminds me of ESL 1 in Frankfurt when we saw PyCat being ganked. I don't know if you remember this. He was axing mid, got ganked by 3 heroes, killed them all.
Yep.
It reminded me of that. Inflame gets ganked by 3 heroes, kills 2 of them, turning around. Fantastic play. I told you, man, this guy knows how to play his Invoker.
How about those 3 auto attacks uphill without a miss, huh?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course it was a little bit lucky, but he put himself in that position, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it was almost like a collective brain fart from VP because the EMP was going off. I mean, it was very clear. And they're just like, all right, we're going to stand here, and we're going to stand here, and we're going to get ready. And then, boom, no mana. And all they could do was just watch him run away.
Yeah, but they tried to separate, but they took some time to think about it. There's another hook. He actually gets a creep instead. Still trying to kill Inflame, but until he gets that ultimate to synergize with it, you can't really keep him in place.
Down at bottom, maybe looking to make something happen. Demon is hiding down in the trees. Oh, yeah, they're rotating everyone this way. And look at that. Does it get any more clear than that? Big, sharp line drawn straight through the map.
Yep.
And that's actually FNG drawing it. It says, I think they're there. At least that's what we postulate, they're saying. Ohio is level 8, so he's got Ravage, and he's probably itching to use it a bit. They're just going to let ZYF bait a bit here and put some pressure onto the tower. And
they're going to go for a dive. Yep, here they go. Illidan is TPing out.
Oh, no, he canceled it. And he still has Ravage. Let's see, will Ohio use it? He's going to use it now. Got everyone. Huge Ravage and Polar trying to turn it back around now. They lose FNG right off the bat. Another good tornado. Disruption is there to disjoint the combo, though. Mag's going to end up dropping. Now Phobos is on the run. Illidan in some trouble as well. There's a Mystic Snake. Good damage. Here comes the Ice Blast in. And that's going to catch Illidan. And this is getting ugly. They managed to bring down the Tidehunter. Inflame actually had the Tornado EMP a little bit thrown asunder, but another double kill for Inflame's Invoker. He's 4-0-2. It's 9-3. And how can VP even breathe right now? Look at this. Talk about a goalie.
I mean, that was literally a 5-man Ravage at 8 or 9 minutes.
Such good patience on it, too.
Well, what's good patience is if you watch, I really like to watch Inflame in particular in these engagements. He had so much restraint and patience. He knew he was going to get the kill on the Ogre with just sheer auto attacks. Most people would just use the Cold Snap, but in the peripheral, he's like, oh, look, there's this full HP Medusa. If we get this kill on Ogre fast enough, if I save my Cold Snap for him, we're going to get a double kill. And it was just a very smart decision. Speaking of, he's got the Cold Snap onto FNG. Oh, he still gets a tornado off, gets the kill, gets a double kill.
He is just racking them up by 2s, man.
Oh, my God.
And, yeah, he doesn't know how to go for single kills. It's for noobs, dude. Gotta wait. Gotta go get the 2-fer. Mana efficiency and all of that.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question, why isn't Mushi playing Invoker? This is why.
Yeah, I think the question's sufficiently answered. Mushi is playing quite a good game on Earthshaker as well. He's 2-0-4 himself.
Yeah, they're all playing quite nicely.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And again, Polar's got to find something to work. Because right now, Illidan's running out of map. They are warding very aggressively, across mid in particular.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
They're going to have Ravage back up here in just a bit, 25 seconds, give or take. I mean, look at the warding all the way through here. Boom, boom. Here's an Ice Blast on the way. That's actually heading all the way up the top. Are you trying to get Phobos with this? Yeah, he's going to run away from it. But if you're in Phobos' captain share, dude, what are you telling your boys?
Oh, boy. I have no idea at this point. It's all kind of a disaster. I mean, your Invoker's got an Orchids in about 400 gold. Oh, Phobos, speaking of, he does pick up the bounty room, but he knows that Invoker's here. There's another bounty room, and he just picks up himself. Can't really kill him because this is the beauty of the Ogre. He's just got so much HP, so. But look at that. Inflame already deciding that without the Orchids, he can still just run around with that Ghost Walk up all the time and just look for small pickoffs. He can get him on the Shadow Demon, he can get him on the Pudge, and probably assist anyone else that's in the nearby area.
He's playing a phenomenal game, man. There's really no other way to say it. And LV just having their way. Overall net worth, Illidan down in 4th position. It is Inflame who is atop the list by far, sitting at just south of 6K. 5K for his teammate, ZYF. Mag is getting close to a blink, so there is going to be big play potential coming out soon, but they're going to need it as soon as possible. And speaking of blink, Tide gets one as well.
Very nice timing with him, too. He's got an Orb of Venom. I didn't even realize that. Bottle with an Invis on it. And, I mean, if you can get 5-man Ravages without a blink, it'll be a little bit easier with it.
One tends to imagine. And now it's just up to LV how they want to proceed. Do they want to go ahead and pressure and begin to aggressively choke this map, or do they just say, hey, you really can't fight us, so we're going to play very cautiously. We're going to farm on the heroes we want to farm. We're going to try to have forays into your jungle to slow down Illidan. I honestly think they should be aggressive. VP is a very good team at playing against those ultra-defensive, ultra-conservative styles.
That is true, but man, Illidan's farm is not anywhere close to we've seen the rest of this tournament. He's sitting at 0-3-1. He's only got Treads and a Wraith Band. Nothing else coming his way. Orchids is picked up. Oh, DDC is trying to counter a ward. FNG's in the nearby area. Still only level 4 in this Pudge, so the range of that hook is only a mere 1,100. And yeah, they at the very least know that the ward is down. Yeah, like I said, Orchids up on Inflame, Blink up on a Tidehunter. Could see a big engagement here in mid.
Oh yeah, they're looking to wreck face on their own. They're going to have a chance to as well. Orchid and an Invis. That Invis is almost done, though. They need to get eyes on someone, and they do. It's FNG. They're going to go right on him. The dust immediately goes off. There's a Ravage got Demon. And the Orchid should secure Demon along with the EMP. Oh, yeah, easy peasy. Ice Blast on the way, but Illidan might make a pay. Should get Ohio at the very least out of this. I don't know. Here comes Mushi. And there's an RP. Got 2 with it. Let's see if they can make something out of it. Echo Slam slows things down a little bit. Has a skewer, but Inflame going to be able to slide away. The dust. No, check that. He wants kills. Going right to work. Monster kill streak for him. Illidan doing everything he can to stay. No, Cold Feet proc. And he is trying to go toe-to-toe. FNG right back up, though. And finally, we see VP find themselves a little daylight and what has been an unrelenting storm of LV dominance. Coming up on 15 minutes, and they finally close the gap at least somewhat and give themselves a little room to breathe. It was getting down to 7,500 gold lead. They cut down on that pretty tremendously now.
Yep, and that was just, I think, a little bit overexcitement. I don't know why I pushed that key, by the way, so sorry about that. I think I was just pressing enter, but...
Let everybody know you're here?
I don't even know. Dude, it's getting late. Anyway, yeah, they just got a little bit excited and try to, you know, bite off a little bit more than they can chew. I know that Invoker can just go back into the fray, and that's one of the great things about this is that all his spells are low cooldown, especially with the Quas Wax. He can constantly get in there with a Ghost Walk and just do his thing. And they did expend a very nice Blink RP there from Mag, but they won't be so luxurious for the next 40 seconds.
Inflame once again, going incognito. And he's going to roam with his team.
Ooh, with the replicate out, so maybe they don't think that he's actually Ghost Walked. We'll see.
Well, that's fun. That's
Although
very
he's
fun.
not microing it very well, so they probably know.
Up, hook, got one. Went fishing across the river. DDC cleaned up. Inflame wants payback. There's the tornado. Ohio's right there with him. FNG super dead. And LV going tit for tat. And Roshan should be becoming an option sometime soon. Their damage output is actually not all that bad. And they do have a little bit of negative armor going for them, too. Of course, they have Alacrity as well. And they're just going to play this choke game.
Yeah, Mushi's actually almost got his blink. He used his arcane boots on his friends there in the jungle. And Flame probably going to go for a 4-staff is my next guess. And yeah, last engagement, support for support, not too bad either way. And I was going to mention one more thing. Oh yeah, this Ancient Apparition. He did get that kill here, but I feel like this is the most DDC's died on this hero this entire tournament.
For sure.
With 3 deaths for him.
We have seen some feeding on some AA, but not DDC. He has managed to always be in the right position, you know, just close enough to be of use and not close enough to be feed, to be chow for the other team. FNG going to walk right on top of Ohio. He blinks right away.
Yep, and we haven't really talked too much about ZYF because he's just a morphling and he's just trying to find his farm. Not the best game for him, but he was under a lot of pressure with constant punch hooks, you know, an ogre up in his face. Here comes actually Inflame from the backside, looking to maybe jump this.
EMP, not the most well shot I've ever seen.
Bad for him.
There's an RP on 2, caught behind the tower. Yeah, this is a feed. They're just giving a lot away here. The replicant was up for the Morphling, so at least he did make it away.
Or he's actually not out of harm's way just yet. He's out of mana. Nothing else. Yeah, oh, a very nice stun there from the Earthshaker. That actually saved his life. Well played by Mushi. Oh, DDC does get taken out in mid, actually, from Illidan. So they're bouncing back a little bit. There is a blink.
How did he die to Illidan?
I don't know.
Yeah, Illidan had nothing on cooldown.
You know what I think it was? I think he was just AFK looking at bottom for an Ice Blast. And just took too much damage. I don't know what else. I really don't.
Oh, wow. Morphling just died.
That's a punch hook.
Yep.
Very nicely done.
Need to keep an eye on FNG in general. But Polar, again, finding what they can, and they are cutting into this lead. They have cut it down considerably. They've got it to within 2,500, and the experience for the first time in about 10 minutes is actually in their favor.
Well, and look at how much better Illidan is doing. He had a much worse start than the Morphling. He's actually more farmed than the Morphling, I believe. Let me check the net worth. And yeah, he's top. He's top of the pack at almost 8,000.
For sure. And again, this is what I was saying about LV. You know, I wanted them to get aggressive. I didn't want them to be diving tier 2s and losing heroes aggressive, but they, I think if they just played a choke game, they'd be in a better shape. This is much more like it. Moving 4, moving 5 into this side of the jungle, freeing the map up and letting ZYF do his thing on the Morphling. Not sure how much I like the Morphling pick in general here, really, though. I feel like there's so many other heroes that I feel like give you so much more than a Morphling at this stage of the game. Like, I'm just not a fan of the hero in general anymore, I don't think.
Ooh, they're trying to bait out the Invoker coming up with the Ghost Walk. They were smoked. They're going to see Ohio a hook. Ooh. Nice attempt. That was a really nice attempt from FNG. Unfortunately, just wasn't the spot that he was in. But I do give him some credit for that one.
Yep. Blink from Ohio doing his job. And the linkage is very close to being done now for ZYF, so getting the tried and true cookie cutter Morphling core item, and we'll see where he wants to go after that. I wouldn't mind a pure Scotty, as a matter of fact, after that.
Yep, and obviously the Lincolns is going to be very, very good here. Stopping, if you get hooked, you don't have to worry too much about the follow-up with the Dismember. It's also just a very standard item for Morphling in general, but yeah, like I said, his farm hasn't been that impressive. He's actually second in the board, but again, Morphling is a hero where it takes, ooh,
oh, good hook. RP on top of him.
Very
blown up. And VP refusing to go quietly into the Vegas night. Fighting and fighting and fighting, no matter how deep and dark the hole seemed to be. And really, it's on LV to continue to capitalize. They have basically given away all of that momentum and lead they had generated up to this point.
Yeah, they did get some nice counter warding done onto a fresh ward there for them. Lincoln Sphere picked up for the Medusa. And Morphling's got another, after that death, what, 700 gold to go or so? 600 gold to go so? Yeah, so not too good for the Morphling. ZYF not having nearly as spectacular of a game as he did last in the Terrorblade. And this should have been easier, honestly. They had a phenomenal start. And getting very complacent is LV Gaming.
Well, it just comes down to what a Morphling does. What does a Morphling do? He farms forever and ever and ever. And you had better be able to do something outside of him. Otherwise, you're in trouble. And if your Morphling feeds, which feeds may be a little too hard. 1 and 3 is close to level of feed. But, I mean, there are just so many other heroes that I feel like could have been more dynamic and given you basically the same thing, giving you the ability to hard farm and go late. And, like, for example, I would have loved a Spectre pick. Spectre could have gotten more aggressive with this team, works really well with an Ancient Apparition. And instead, they just have to split the Morphling off and let him push lanes. And he's also not a hero who's going to build a Diffusal or anything like that, whereas a Spectre often can, and that certainly would have helped out against the Medusa. Hell, an Anti-Mage would have been nice.
Yeah, I have to go and refresh my memory of the bans. I don't know for sure if he was banned, but yeah, I'm kind of on board. I'm never the biggest fan in general of Morphling. I just think he takes way too long to get online. And I just know that the Chinese love their Morphling. I know that they love Morphling, they love Terrorblade, they love these big carry, big numbers kind of heroes in the late game. Finally picks up the Lincolns, but a very bad timing if I do say so at 22 minutes, considering what it could have been. And there's a 4-staff coming out for Invoker.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, Roche, the target, and about to drop. He's about halfway down. It doesn't look like VP is either aware or in a position to challenge by their estimation. He said BKB's on the way. Yasha done on Illidan. There's an Aegis for the Morphling, and that's going to be, without a doubt, a farming Aegis. And LV has just completely run out of gas. Like, VP, I think, actually has a huge, huge window of opportunity for the next 10 minutes or so to really make things happen on the map and free Illidan up. And I don't like this decision of LV to play the way they have been, which is YOLO. Basically, they got YOLO when they were super far ahead. Now they're tightening up so tight that Illidan has all the space in the world.
Yeah, I wonder if they know just how far behind the Morphling is compared to the Medusa.
They have to have checked his items by now.
Yeah, well, they might see Lincolns and be like, all right, he's only got a Lincolns, but the rate at which he farmed the Yasha after that kind of tells you that, wow, he's actually by far the most farmed hero in the game, and he just shouldn't be. They do have EMP, which is a fantastic tool. So again, if he gets isolated, he can die, and there's a great isolation tool, and that's the Blink Ravage from, of course, Ohio. He's gone for an interesting build. It's Treads, Blink, into Oblivion Staff, presumably a refresher, but he will not have the mana, not even close.
Well, let's see if they can continue to take this jungle away. It's at nothing else, they're cutting down on the efficiency of the rest of VP, as they're all having to group into 2 lanes as opposed to 3. But Illidan, of course, getting the lion's share of the farm, as is standard. He has opened up a hell of a lead in that regard. He's about half of a big item ahead at 2,600 ahead of the Morphling. And they're going to put him up front. They may try to do something cute here, using him as bait. And we'll see if VP actually knows what's up.
Well, what was I going to say here? The Blink is obviously very good for Earthshaker. He has hit level 11, so his ulti's going to do a lot more damage. Oh, yeah, the Ags on Ogre Magi. I didn't even realize this, but my God.
Yeah.
That is a very good timing for someone that shouldn't have been this farmed. He's
5-1-4.
Yeah.
Hell of a performance from Phobos. Midas picked up by Mushi. So
I actually like it. I actually think it's really good.
Yeah, no, I'm actually on board with it too. On a hero like Earthshaker, you get Arcane Boots Blink up by 25 minutes. There are a lot of games where that's optimistic. And you have that much extra gold, why not try to get your levels up? Why not? Especially with a Medusa and a Morphling game. This is going to go late.
Well, he feels like he's having a good game himself. Oh, action on mid.
And,
maybe lag? I don't know. But that should have been a kill.
Well, missed
right.
out on an opportunity. And FNG, shot that blind into the trees and shot it just wide.
Well, speaking of Midas, DDC is going to go for his as well. I think it's not too bad here because it's like they still feel like they're winning in their minds, but they feel like they're slowly running out of gas, and they just know how how fast he's farming.
Yep.
And so they need to kind of catch up a little bit with him. But they know the other heroes aren't really keeping up pace. They know that they have tons of kill potential unless they really screw up their spells like we just saw. So Gem picked up on the Invoker. I really like that pickup. I don't know if he bought it. Yeah, he bought it himself. And we'll do some counter warding with that. Gem picked up actually on FNG too.
Yeah, we actually see Morphling getting himself out of trouble there with a replicate. But yeah, this is a long period of passivity, and now LV's ready to put an end to it, but they're only moving out with 2. Only Ohio and Mushi. I don't know if they're just going on a warding run. They're going to try to shut down the ancient farming. This is going to be a very obvious ward to counter ward, though. They'll just put a sentry there. So this is only going to do so much. They need a win. They really, really do. because Illidan is just. We've read this book, man. You know, we've checked it out of the library a few times, and LV I think is beginning to feel that urgency. And there's actually going to be the Midas picked up, fully complete on the Ancient Apparition. Inflame. Oh, there's going to be a miss on the hook. There's going to be dust that goes off. They know where Inflame is, and he might be in trouble. But oh, beautiful, beautiful RP to try to turn this around. Skewer on Ohio. He got the Ravage up, but now the Morphling has his Lincoln's pop. Multicast, Aegis gone. And this is going the way of Polar for sure now, as they have them on the run. They're still chasing down Ohio past the Tier 2. Morphling being pursued all the way into the river. He's got a low help waiting in the wings. That was Mushi. I guess they don't assume they're going to need it. They're still trying to chase down Ohio. And are they going to give up? No, they're going to stick with it. DDC is waiting around the corner. Mag still leading that charge, but unable to snag him. So once again, a fight goes heavily the way of Polar. And look at that. First time since about 10 minutes in that they lead this ballgame.
Yep, well, it was basically a 1-for-1 plus the Aegis support for Inflame, the Pudge for the Invoker. So yeah, a little bit of a win there for Polar. And I just think it's the Morphling that's just not being able to keep on pace with this Medusa. And if any hero should have wanted a Midas this game, it should have been the Morphling. He's actually one of the only ones on his team that doesn't have one, it feels like. But he's going to go for the shotgun now. No Manta, no BKB or anything like that. He needs some damage, he feels, to be able to pressure in these team fights.
VP on the headhunt.
He's got it already. Okay. Wow, that's actually a little bit more farm than I thought he had. Not too bad, actually, for CYF.
Ooh, got him. Went fishing and found Inflame. What a shot. How did he even hit that? They have no vision here. He threw that blind and got him, I think, unless I'm totally missed. Did they have a gem that I wasn't aware of?
Well,
yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah.
FNG bought one.
Yeah, and I think they were smoked and maybe, I don't know. I didn't see it. I just saw the tail end of it. But FNG, he knows how to play Pudge, man. This guy has been pretty fun to watch.
Absurdity. And Inflame, who started out, he was 8-2 and 4 for a while. Now finds himself at 8-4 and severely slowed down. And Illidan is doing what Illidan does, making you pay and regret not doing anything about him sooner.
Yep, and counter pushing. Well, I can't even say counter pushing. They're just pushing on their own with 5 members here. No Ravage up for another 9 seconds. And I still feel like this is a really weird build from Ohio. Like, he definitely will not have enough mana for Ravage or double Ravage once he gets the gold for the refresher. It's just not even close. He's sitting at 600, not even, with strength treads. Oh, off the mark just a little bit.
Here comes Ohio. He's just walking in. Now he's going to get the Ravage. BKB was up on Mag, though. Gets off the RP, got 2. Immediately Phobos is down, but now FNG there with the Dismember onto the Tide. He's going to end up dead. Inflame doing what he can from the side. But this is going to be a 1-for-1. Can they turn it around? Big Echo Slam! Mushi on point, and they get Illidan. This is the win they have desperately needed. That E-Blade going to work, and they had to have it when they had it. Demon next, 4-for-1. And LV reminds VP, hey, we're still in this game too.
You know, the funny thing about that is I thought it was going to be disastrous because Mushi first blinked in and caught himself in the trees.
Oh, did he? I didn't even see that.
He caught himself in the trees right over here on the right side when he blinked in to initiate.
Oh, man.
And so he had to sit there until the next blink cooldown. It just happened to be fortuitous enough that they were all in the position that he wanted them to be in. So it looked like a very calculated play. He actually messed up right before that.
It was actually a really nice play from Mag as well, by the way. Mag, very quick, was standing somewhere in this vicinity. The Ravage went off generally right here, and he had just that little bit of space, you know, that little bit of time as the Ravage spreads, and he managed to get his BKB off, and that allowed him to RP. If he got caught by that Ravage, that probably goes much, much worse for Polar, and that's saying something, given it was a 4-for-1.
Yeah, I know. It probably would have been a 5-for-0 team fight, honestly.
15-20. VP had everything going for them, and they're still in good shape comparatively. I mean, they're not in as good a shape as they were about 120 seconds ago or so. But LV has reasserted themselves, has retaken the lead in gold and experience, but Illidan is still Illidan, and he still has done a lot of work over the last 31 minutes or so. He's picked up his Manta, his Lincolns, and now on his way to that Scotty.
Well, I actually haven't really seen one EMP onto him as of late.
No. Inflame really has fallen off. And, well, I don't know. He came out of that 10-4-5, so I guess he's still doing work. But you're right. I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, no, I think he's been playing fantastically. It's just the EMPs haven't been on point onto Medusa in general. But at this point, it's not going to do as much as you'd hope for just because now he's stacking a ton of mana. Obviously, it's going to help a lot. But, yep, and as he is on his way towards a Scotty. And again, you made a great point at the beginning that this Medusa will be, you know, like Medusa on crack, which is he can be applied the Empower right now, which gives him 50% base damage as well as cleave, but obviously it doesn't matter. And then of course the Bloodlust from Ogre Magi. So it's really a steroids Dusa if you think about it.
Oh, for sure. And it's just going to be one of those games where it's going to be all about buffing the Dusa, giving her space. Maybe you land a hook instead, like. If FNG can land his hooks, that's going to screw LV so much because LV has to have initiation advantage because they have to really try hard to bypass everything else Polar has and get on top of Illidan. He's going to be hitting so hard and so fast that he's the only target that matters for any practical purpose going into the late game. However, that's a lot to say. They're going to have to deal with a Shadow Demon that can disrupt Medusa to save her. They're going to have to deal with the RP, of course, and, of course, Hook. And you made an excellent point going back a series ago. That, you know, support Pudge is maybe more viable than people give it credit for just because a hook's a hook. A hook that pulls someone out of position, at least at this level of play, is going to be a game-changing play almost no matter what. Whether
you have 20,000 net worth like Medusa right now or 3,000 the Pudge, that hook will still be pretty much just as effective.
Right.
Obviously, luxury items like Blink and Force Staff you can hook someone, and then if you're like, crap, I probably shouldn't have done that, and then you blink away or Force Staff or whatever, or of course do that initially to get yourself in the position, but the point still stands. Yes, that hook is just a hook.
And a big part of that, of course, is the fact that Pudge did get such a buff for his level 1 hook. So he's not as reliant. I mean, hell, he's level 11 now, so it's pretty much irrelevant. He's even getting some nice buffs off of his first point into Flesh Heap. But for the most part, FNG has done his job. 4, 8, and 8 doesn't tell the story. He's hit some big-time hooks. There's a refresher done on the Tide. And like you said, mana could be an issue here.
It's going to be an issue. It costs $375 to cast it, the refresher orb, and then $225 for that. So that's
450, 7, 8, 25?
Yes, I believe so. Well, and then even if he hits 16, it's going to cost 100 mana more. So that's 325 level 16, which of course you're going to be banking on. He's going to be hitting very, very soon. So that becomes an even more of a problem. So that'd be at 700, and then another of that. Yeah, he just simply does not have enough mana.
And we got a fight going on. There's the refresher. Mag's going to hit the RP and get the skewer off. There's going to be the Ravage, though. That is, I guess that was his second, actually, and they're going to be able to follow this up. Here we go. ZYF going to work on the Demon, brings him down. There's the hook. And can they finish him off? No! Fissure from Mushi buys him some time. Inflame, though, just being pecked down by Illidan. They go FNG in exchange for him, and ZYF does go home. Jim on the ground, I think it's hidden away enough that nobody may see it. 3 for 2, so Polar does come out on the bad end of that.
Yeah, did I just completely miss it, or did he just only refresh and cast 1 Ravage?
Pretty sure that's what happened. I got the camera there a little bit late, and I didn't see a Ravage, so I can't say definitively, but I think it was refresh Ravage.
Yeah, because the only way he could have done that twice, too, is if he got mana boots from someone.
And there's no mana.
They have him on the Earthshaker.
Yeah,
but,
good point.
But, yeah, I don't know. Because I feel like I only saw 1 Ravage, and maybe it's just late night, but, yeah, we'll have to – if that was the case, that's not very good.
Interesting.
I'm going to check on stream so we don't look like idiots.
Is all good. 23-17. 5,000 gold is the lead now for LV. It does turn up a little bit there at the end. This game very much in reach of either team. But the Morphling is becoming a factor. He seemed to be lying dormant, but there always does come a point. You know, we both complain. It's like, yeah, it takes forever. We're not the biggest fans of the pick. Well, if he gets online, he gets online. That's what it comes down to. Maybe you don't like the timing. Maybe it's a little slower than some very bad at Dota casters would like. But he is getting there. Lincoln's Ethereal Blade and the Manta. And after this, I wonder what direction he wants to head. I don't know that BKB is necessary. What do you think?
Dire's middle tower is under
Yeah, I don't know. I still think BKB could not be too bad. I think Scotty is actually quite effective as well. Butterfly is the most obvious approach to me just because it ups his agility even more and just creates a humongous nuke for him. So I would guess Butterfly or the Scotty.
It's just already getting to that point with Illidan where they can't stand anywhere near him. Like, they either kill him or everything changes. Down at bottom, you're going to see the Morphling take himself a tower. There's a hook thrown, only got a creep that time.
Yep, and Inflame's item progression has been pretty bad, honestly. He had like a 12-minute Orchids, 22-minute Force Staff, and now a 37-minute Ulti Orb. That's literally his progression. Had an amazing early game, but it's just trying way too hard to get these ganks, and you can't do it because both teams are playing a very passive farm fest game, and which means he's not farming himself through hero kills.
Well, Illidan happy to continue to play passive and do the farm fest thing. It's what he's best at and what he's known for. And the rest of his team's not bad farmed at all. Mag is right there with him. He's got a BKB, 1,800 gold aside. Roshan, of course, up, and they're going to Alacrity the Morphling and send him on in. He's going to go by himself, and they're going to smoke the rest. This is ballsy. Are they going to smoke in, or are they going to smoke around? They're going to smoke around. Oh, wow, they actually pull the Morphling out. And now they're going to jump onto him. This could be a big Ravage, maybe. Can he get it off? No, there's an RP that got to. They're going to skewer them up. They're all so grouped. And Virtus Pro letting Illidan go to work. Morphling can only run and not so far. As VP takes a gigantic win. LV may be getting a little too cute around the Roche pit. Maybe could have smoked in, maybe could have smoked as 5. Instead, they lose 3 for 1. Only FNG dropping in. Illidan is hitting that point where your stomach turns if you're on the enemy team. He is just so gigantic.
And again, look at this Bloodlust plus Empower. He did cast 2 Ravages, by the way. We're just both effing tired.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and I was looking somewhere else, and there's so much crap going on. But there, a little bit of stalling tactics here. Where there is still, okay, actually the EMP did hit. Morphling buys back. Here we go. Double Ravage is ready to go. And yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to make anything of that buyback. You wanted to essentially hit for him to go in with a Ravage, buy back, and do something with that, but that's just wasted gold, unfortunately. At the very least, it does fend them off of the tower, which is actually almost dead. And maybe they can still go Roshan. My God, it's late. And get that Aegis of the Immortal with the double Ravage available.
Well, for now, both sides are resetting. It was 100% a win for VP last time around, and they're going to go back in. They got to get this bad boy down. And yeah, a little bit better call this time, I think, sending more personnel. As of right now, it doesn't look like VP suspects it. They are going to swoop through, though, and they're going to suspect it soon. This could be crippling. They do have 2 Ravages ready. There's the Fissure. They spot at least 1, and the Aegis goes to the Morphling. So VP unable to prevent that. And they have to pull back. Still the problem of Illidan continues. And LV with a leg up. Question is, where do they go from here? They're reaching a point where Illidan is so far ahead. He's basically a rapier ahead in farm of the Morphling. When he's that far ahead, you can't just say, oh, okay, we got another farming Aegis. Like, you've got to try to do something. Either go like smokes, or yes, that's always an option, but that's kind of eh. Do you try to go high ground? Do you push? Do you roll the dice? Like, what do you do?
You just find an opportunity where he's isolated, because I don't think you can win in a fight when he's ready with his team.
Exactly.
And when they're spread out. And the biggest thing, as you mentioned, like, one, you can't burst him down, but he's hitting so hard with the Bloodlust and the Empower, man. He really is. It's so helpful for him, and especially when he's cleaving that damage naturally with his split shot.
Mag could be a target. They're going to get eyes on him. Very quick blink. And he steps back. They're going to try to chase him down. They got a haste up on Tide. And, ooh, he thought about it. Thought about it, stutter stepped it, and Ohio. You hesitate, and sometimes you pay. And they're not going to be able to clean him up behind that. The rest of the team had assembled. They did lose Demon behind all of that. And now there's the Ravage. He ends up dying. Can they follow it up at all? FNG will be waveformed upon. Ice Blast is there. Got Medusa. Doesn't matter, as the Morphling is under so much pressure. Inflame and DDC both have to run away. Illidan is just so huge. Back up off the Aegis, there's a fissure. He's going to wait for him. Didn't actually go through it. And now he's just going to wall. He can peck away at the through. Echo Slam. Doesn't matter. He's doing too much damage. Illidan finally eats a big burst from the Ethereal Blade. Can they finish him off? No. Phobos is low as well. They kited him and they killed him. Phobos and Illidan between them, maybe 200 HP. 4 for 1, and the worm is turned. As LV, oh, they're going to throw this. Is this going to get him? No. Didn't get anything. Good try. But LV has got to be going into panic mode, and that actually was so bad. Mushi tried to cut him off with a fissure. The waveform came up short, so he just had a chest-high wall he could shoot everyone over.
I actually think that was I think that was actually a good decision by Mushi. His idea was, I'm going to block him out for like 6 seconds and you go kill the supports. And ZYF was like, no, I want to go man up and kill this guy. I could show him his boss. And I think that was a bad decision. I think he should just turn, kill the Ogre, kill the Shadow Demon, whoever else was around there, and then worry about the Medusa later. Instead, he tried to just be all flashy and you know, mano-a-mano onto the Medusa, but that was just not a smart decision when the Medusa is, you know, almost 8,000 more net worth ahead of you. They also need 2 Ravages and not 1. I mean, that's an innate problem, too.
Yep. He can refresh right now. I'm not sure why he has it. There's literally no reason to not refresh.
Well, he wants these Ravages in succession now that he's already waited this long, which could be a very bad decision.
Yeah, he should have refreshed, for sure.
Well, he's definitely going to wait now. Then they already lost some racks in mid.
Yep, racks down. And I can't believe Polar has dug this one out. It looked almost hopeless.
Yep.
And this is the Illidan Storm Rage effect. Even going to get some illusions off of him, courtesy of Jimmy Ho. And look at the illusions. Look at them peck away at this racks, man.
Well, ZYF says, I got an illusion too. And he's actually throwing it ahead. Does it have split shot on it? And it does, yeah. Look at that. So he's actually able to farm and push out waves himself with that. Pretty nice tool for that Morphling, but they just got to play this a little bit smarter, man. They just need to not get overconfident in fights. ZYF needs to not focus and target the Medusa first. They need to kill the others first. Like, if they can get a kill on this Magnus before anything happens with a Ravage, refresh it.
Ooh, look at this. They're all, they left just in time. They're going to hang around a little too long. They are going to have a double Ravage. Morphling's not there. There they go. They didn't get Phobos, though. They only got Demon. Demon disrupts himself. There's a 2-man fissure. The follow, and Mag does get the BKB off, trying to turn this around. And Demon does finally end up dead. RP will end up catching one, but here comes CYF. Jim's on the ground, and Ohio about to pay the price. There's the second Ravage before he drops. They're going to turn on Phobos, but he's so tanky. They can't even bring him down. Hook's actually off the mark from FNG, trying to save his teammate. Illidan and FNG, that are going to be able to run them out. It's a 3 for 1, but honestly, the 3 they got aren't super high value. And hell, CYF still in some trouble. Just slowly being pecked to death. And there, finally gets some help from his teammates, but it's so scary to turn it even as 3 to try to man up against Illidan. He's so big. Oh, hang on, what did he get?
Oh, he's just doing the replicate, yeah. So an actual favorable team fight there for LV. The RP obviously wasn't very ideal. He cast it on the solo Earthshaker. Earthshaker didn't even get a chance to ulti that fight and just didn't find the right opening. There's an Ags actually for AA. I actually thought she already had it just because of how well DDC has farmed in games prior, but that 17 seconds of no regen is going to be a pretty big deal for VP Polar, or sorry, for LV Gaming.
See, the Tier 2 top does end up taking a spill. Very close game. We're coming up on 45 minutes in. Only a few thousand gold separate the teams. 9,000 gold, however, separates Illidan from the Morphling. So, I mean, it's getting redonkulous now. And Illidan is kind of hemmed up by himself. No Ravage. Here comes Inflame. Can they get something done? They really have to. There's the Fissure EMP. Disruption from Demon. And, yep, going to come back out and just go to work. Morphling trying to morph through it. Illidan so tanky. Big Echo Slam this time, though. And they do manage to. Oh, they got him. And they hit FNG with the Ethereal Blade. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Not sure how much they're going to translate out of it, but they finally do prove that it can be done.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. I know, they were like, you know what, screw it. Let's just finally friggin' man up on this guy. And they did get him. He does have a full item slot available for the next item, though. He does have buyback. But, of course, you do not want to buy back. And if we know Illidan well enough, he probably won't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's got 60 seconds.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And they're just buying time. They're going to try to force this.
Radiant's
Yeah.
middle tower has fallen.
Satanic on the way, fully completed here
Illidan-
for ZYF.
Now's not the time to hold on to that. Ravage is up in 8 seconds. Ohio got a little ahead of himself. RP got 3. Ohio
buyback.
skewered back. There's the buyback. LV does manage to clean up a little, but Illidan's back up. They need to run and run fast. F&G went fishing and found himself a flame. And he may end up dying, but that's certainly a worthy trade. Replicating away is going to be the Morphling. Triple kill tallied by ZYF by the time all's said and done as he makes it back to top just in time to farm it out. 3 for 2, though, and importantly, it cost Illidan a buyback. Now, this changes the complexion of things very much for 6.5 minutes. If they can execute, and there's the Satanic also done on him as well, so very handy-dandy pickup at about time. But if they can kill Illidan again, it could be game. So LV has put themselves in a much better position now, despite trailing so much in the, well, now, hell, look at the net worth, dude. Only 2,500 gold separating Illidan and the Morphling now.
We got ourselves a game, man. Yeah,
Do we not?
Yeah, you make a good point, though. He did buy back, and we know how much Illidan hates buying back, and this could be this could be detrimental because not only did he buy back, and if he dies, it's pretty much over, but the Tidehunter is reviving with double Ravage.
Good call.
If they just use everything on him, they win the game.
It's going to come down to big plays from, in my opinion, these two guys. F&G, he's hit some hooks. He's come up empty a little bit lately, but he has been a player all game. They need a performance out of him, and they need Mag to hit an RP.
Yeah.
He had a good one last time, but Illidan was down. And the buyback, you know, it's so hard to coordinate something like that. Like, okay, because you can't just be like, well, I'll buy back if I hit an RP. Because by the time he hits it, your opportunity's gone.
Yeah,
and that's what happened.
You kind of almost have to have your finger ready the second he starts blinking in and just assume he's going to hit one.
Exactly.
But yeah, again, that's easier said than done. It can be. I don't know if he like TP to a wrong part of the base as well. I saw Blue or Pudge TP up like towards the top middle side. I don't know where Illidan TP'd, but it wasn't the most ideal spot.
Right.
And that was a refresher picked up for Mag on Magnus. So we got 2 RPs coming up from him, hopefully, for his sake. That's on the replicas.
Yep. And they're going to come back out. There was an EMP thrown out. Did not catch the Deuce, though. And they're a little disappointed to find out that's not the real Ohio. But Tornado EMP is on cooldown. Alacrity has been used. Ohio getting chesty.
Top tower is
Comes out. They're going to give this up. Ooh,
Very close.
very close on that hook. Phobos lands a multicast, and yeah, they're going to get Mushi out of trouble. And let's see how they want to connect on this. Phobos uses his BKB just to waddle on back to safety. Rosha's going to respawn in 30 seconds. There's a link that's popped. But that looks like Roshan's going to be our next big battleground.
Yeah, Morphling does have buyback too, so that's really important for him.
Ooh, fake back.
Okay.
VP, backing, smoking. This is a horrible place for them to engage if they decide to move up and they see them. They're going to come up. Is Inflame going to get eyes on him? It's going to be close. Oh, there we go. Can they get him? They got. That's 1 RP. They've got another one. And they are not even going to have to use it. He's down. He is down, and is he down for the count? He is. No, never mind. Bought back. My eyes a little quicker than my ears that time. Heard the sound after I saw that he was still. No, RP. Kind of whiffed it. In fact, no kind of. Ohio jumping the gun. And he is hurting. And look at Mag. Just swooping in, sweeping up. Illidan still up. There's the second Ravage. Can they get anything out of it? They've got to get Illidan. There's a Fissure to follow. The damage not there. Demon with a good disruption to keep the fight going. Echo Slam isn't enough. He's down to half health. They have to kill him. No mana. He is exhausted. There's the hook. He's dead again. And that is 0 buyback. Morphling used his, but he can charge down middle lane. The Dusa has 0 buyback, is down for a full 100 seconds. And we're going to see ZYF run like hell. Scurry, little man, scurry. Run downhill.
Oh, my God. This team fight is just so crazy. You know how strong Deafening Blast is in these fights,
Oh,
too?
my God.
When he can't attack, it's basically a halberd, and it's very important. If he's already used his Manta, it was a fantastic BKB reaction from Illidan as well right before that first Ravage, and it paid dividends. But, man, with him being down, with no RP at all available, he's got a BKB skewer. That's about it. Don't think it's enough, unfortunately.
70 seconds. How much work can they do?
A lot with Morphling, man. That guy hits like a truck.
Do they just go Ancient, you think?
Radiant's middle barracks.
Looks like they're going to take the safer route.
They're taking the ultra safe route, even bypassing range racks.
Ooh, they need to make up their minds.
Yeah,
here,
they do.
Because every time they do like that, they're wasting some time.
50 seconds. And you're going to have some disruptive forces up. Hey, speak it and it happens. Alacrity used.
RP and 8.
They are not getting nearly as much out of this as they should have. Not even close. They didn't even get the range racks here.
Yeah, well.
This is misplayed.
They're taking this ultra safe. They are respecting the cooldown of Mag with an RP. I think they could have got a little bit more just because the Morphling did have the Satanic, but oh no, this is a safer play and this is smart. I know they probably should have got that range racks in mid. It won't regen though, it's not a big deal.
Well, it's also the range racks here too.
Yeah, well they did. Yeah, they just only hit the melee on the top
melee,
side.
rather.
Yeah, that was definitely a misplay, but this is smart.
Yeah, this is a
Getting
nice
the
call.
age is for the Morphling who does not have buyback. And I'd still think if they kill Illidan this time, let me double check, he still won't have buyback. He's got a minute 30 till the next one.
Roshan has fallen to the dire.
He should have the gold, more than sufficient gold. There's a halberd up. That's a big pickup. Big pickup from Mushi. What a game this has been, man. What a way to either close this series out or to see a team fight for their lives and extend it. Win, lose, or draw. Certainly worth the price of admission, which for our fine folks here in ballroom number 2 is free of charge.
There you go. Yeah, the BKB still definitely paid dividends for Medusa. Like I said, Illidan really fast with his fingers on that one. You can still get pumped up from the Bloodlust and still have it go with that BKB. A gem repurchase there from Pudge. They don't want any kind of inflamed shenanigans running around with that ghost, the Ghost Walk like he is right now. Let me just double check on buybacks for the next engagement. So Mag will have his Morphling, not for 3 minutes, but he does have an Aegis.
Mushi's lacking one, at least for now.
Mushi is lacking one. The Invoker will have one, and the Medusa will have one in 30 seconds, so she'll probably be fine. If she has the gold. Actually, let me check her gold. Oh, yeah, she's got plenty.
Polar running right down the gut, running right up the gut, man. They're not going to wait on LV, and LV is just, I think they're going to up for a rude awakening. They say, holy crap, they're in our base, man. As they are not fooling around. There's going to be a fissure. They have to pick their time to go on Illidan very carefully. Disruptions there. Tornado off the mark. An EMP has to happen. There's the Hex, still not wanting to go. Ohio, 2 Ravages at the ready. And VP dusting, just hoping they could find Inflame, but Inflame not playing that riskily this time around, playing back in the back of the base. 4 staff picked up by the Ancient Apparition. They just need, both sides are so reliant on every big ult. Like, there's only so many ways, you know, I start running down the list like, yeah, they gotta have a nice Ravage, gotta have a nice Ice Blast. Everyone is so close right now. And look at this game, still just 2,500 gold separating these two teams. And here we go. He actually already used the E-Blade. Now he's in trouble. He's going to have this Aegis pop for free. RP's there, and he got Ohio. Ohio trying to make a run for it. There's the hook. He actually pulled Illidan out, and the miss on the skewer. So they get the Aegis.
Yep.
And that may be worth the price of admission. Is he chasing? Yeah,
Ohio is taking way too much time trying to pull the trigger.
Whoa! There's a hook. Waveform gets him out of trouble, though.
Very interesting stuff. They are going to have to TP bottom. That's going to be Mag on Mag, TPing bottom to defend. I feel like Ohio is way too timid with this. I see possible openings for him, even if he at least, you know, gets him to use their BKBs, waits for the refresher, and comes back after the duration is over. I feel like that'd be a win. Nice pickup from the Morphling.
Yep.
I was just going to say
way
he needs
overdue.
This. Although it is a little bit scary, he doesn't have buyback for a minute 30. He would have the gold if he wanted to wait for that, but maybe he can farm that up in the meantime. He's got 90 seconds to do so.
Yeah, that was a big waste of an Aegis, and I agree with you. Like, Ohio's an excellent player, but there just comes a point where your team has to just give you the green light and say, hey, if you want to go, you go. We're gonna follow.
He also needs a 4-staff, I feel. It's just too many times where he's blinking in, can't find the right initiation, and he's really playing with fire just sitting there. If he has a 4-staff, he doesn't look like it's a good position to go cast his ultimate. He can just turn around 4-staff and be on his merry way. But without that, it's like, oh, crap, what do I do? And he just can't figure it out. So he either needs to pull the trigger right away without this 4-staff or rely on help from either DDC with the 4-staff or the Invoker as well. Actually, I think, yeah, they have 3 4-staffs because Earthshaker has one as well. Smoke coming out.
Oh, didn't get the Morphling.
Yeah, they actually missed the Morphling. Maybe they can use this to their strategic, you know, or some kind of strategy without having him.
Oh, man. This kind of an approach, 5 running face into 5. This is so chancy. Oh, they're spreading out. They're going to try to line. Oh, Illidan's up front. Are they going to go for it? That's the real one.
I don't know. He's very tanky, man. I think they need to go in the backfield here onto Magnus. Getting the kill on Magnus pretty much secures the team fight. He just revealed his smoke.
Oh.
I don't know if it expired or
You
not.
know, Ohio's there. This is such a big opportunity if he wants to go.
Oh my God, this could be a 5-hit
He's got to go. There it is.
Got it.
And they're going to follow this up, going right on into Magnus, a double. And yes, there's the Echo
They
Slam.
got it.
They managed to put it all together. The damage from Illidan is still huge, though. And Morphling will end up dropping to Illidan. Here, a Sunstrike coming in somewhere. Ohio's going to be next on the list. 2 are down. Magbot back. And they're still pursuing this out.
That's no buyback on the Morphling, man. This could be a turnaround.
I think this could be it as they clean up behind it. Has Virtus Pro done it? DDC barely able to force staff up. Inflame there by himself, lays the ice wall. Mag a little optimistic with that. RP's gonna be whiffed. Has the refresh that he can use though. Mushi trying desperately to hold the line with Inflame. There's a deafening blast. Lincoln's popped as well.
They got
Morphling.
60 seconds. They need to stall for 60 seconds. There's an ulti there from the AA. It clips only 1, I believe. Illidan's not doing too healthy as far as mana is concerned. The constant Fisher blocks are very annoying but effective, but no, look at that damage. He's able to put himself on the ledge, not missing uphill. All those auto attacks with those extra illusion damage. This is going to be a set of racks.
At least one. Morphling up in 30. They put the combo together. Follow up just a little lacking.
They need a BKB, I think, on Morphling.
I think you're
he's
right.
dying too fast to just stuns and the auto attacks and you know, everything. I mean, obviously Medusa's all physical damage, but here we go. 19 seconds for the Morphling.
This is going to be Megas. Mushi has to run. Polar has him on the run. Illidan somehow got a kill. I guess he caught him with the Mystic Snake.
Yep. All right, that's Megas. That's officially Mega Creeps. 6 seconds on the Morphling. Earthshaker
They're going to
is
make him
dead.
throne him. They're going to make him throne him. Tornado EMP. Illidan dodges the EMP. Ohio sitting near the backs. Yeah, I think this is Dunsky's. Morphling's up, and I don't even know if it matters. Against Megas, they can't leave the base. And they're going to try to do something here. And Illidan and company just skirting around the outside. There's a disruption onto the Morphling. Turning even the, I mean, just look how tanky Phobos is with his pipe,
Yeah.
by the way. There's a hook. Doesn't get what he went looking for. But Phobos just doesn't care. Just walking forward and blowing him up. Here comes Illidan ready to go to work. Inflame hits him with a deafening blast. Ulti did go off. There's an RP that was
nice
canceled.
job by Mag.
And now hangs on to it. This is going to be your GG as we watch the, no, never mind. Using the Satanic, thought he was going to end up dying and does waveform through. Don't know that it's going to matter ultimately. And you have the throne slowly being banged down by creeps. Here comes FNG. He just wants to help out with right clicks. He's not that concerned. Illidan can turn and go to work with it if he wants. He's hexed. This continues to just play itself out. The throne, though, that's gonna be at least one more game. As Polar finds what they need here in game number 2. One game, one loss away, down 2-0 in a best of 5. From seeing their tournament run end, impressive as it has been, they think it could be more impressive, and LV has got to take a breather and shake that one off. That's a 59-minute slugfest where the Illidan factor proved to be a known variable, but still one difficult for which to account.
Oh my God, you got to be kicking yourself, man, after that one if you're LV, because they looked so unstoppable for the first 12 minutes.
Did.
They looked like they were going to close out another fast 1 in 20. But man, not only was it the Bloodlust that pumped up Illidan, not only was it also the Empower, but if you saw there at the end, constant disruptions from the Shadow Demon to just create even more illusions, to make just more damage in the entire team fight, which also used Split Shot. So it was just a very nice combination of these buffing up heroes for Illidan that made him the force to be reckoned with.
What a barn burner. And can't wait to see what these two teams have in store for us.